Hi guys, welcome back to our podcast where today I return with Tyler after a couple of weeks break. Yeah, and this is episode 4 now, isn't it?
Gosh, yeah, episode 4.
Yeah, Christ, okay,
Flying
so,
by.
yeah, it really is. So today we are going to be unravelling some of the common misconceptions within recruitment. So we're going to have our lovely producer Helena behind the camera. You don't see her face, but she does all the groundwork. So hats off to her. We just sit here and
So when
chat.
you hear her ask the questions, that's who's speaking. We don't know what they are either, the questions. So
Yeah.
I'm hoping nothing too complicated.
Yeah.
Don't worry, guys. You'll be fine.
Yeah, we're going into this a little bit blind today. So Helena's done her research into common misconceptions. We're going to unravel the truth behind them, so whether they're true or false. But obviously some of these answers could be subjective, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
You
take
might-
everything with a pinch of salt.
You
Yeah.
might both say completely different things.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
fine.
And we might just, have a punch up if you're an adjunct.
And if they're even a little bit technical, please just remember we're not developers.
Cut you some
We're
slack.
like
We are learning. We do go to our conferences and meetings to learn. But hey, if there is something that we get wrong, drop us a message and correct us so we can learn.
yeah.
But hopefully you're not gonna
Don't
scare
worry,
us.
there's nothing too technical here, guys.
Okay.
Well,
Right.
without further ado,
Are you
I
ready?
Do you know what I feel like I'm in? You know, like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire and all the lights go down.
I've
you get a
always wanted to
question.
do that. Or the cube, because we're literally in a cube.
Yeah, you are.
This is our little conspicuous cube.
They do call it, but no fun games. I feel like I'm a bit like, no, I've got sweaty palms.
Do you know
today.
what? Because
Nervous.
I've just got off a candidate call. Sometimes before the podcast, but we literally came in, sat down, and started. So I'm
Yeah.
a bit like.
And I'm not gonna lie, guys. I know I've been here 4 days. I know I've been back almost a week now, but I still. A little bit of vacation mood still in. So we're just gonna, we're getting in there, but I think we'll
Okay.
just go with it.
Right, are we ready?
We're ready.
Right, first one. Job hopping is always a red flag for recruiters and
Who wants
employers.
to answer first?
Less so now because of COVID. I'd say before COVID, before 2020, bit more of a red flag if you're not a contractor, just because. For obvious reasons, people like longevity in roles, but since COVID, a lot more redundancies
That's
and
true.
priorities have changed.
It's just a little bit more unstable. I would say it's not much of a red flag if there's gaps or like really short-term roles, if you highlight the reasons
I always
on
say
the
to
CV.
people, if multiple people have asked you why there are gaps or why you've moved, just put in brackets, made redundant or left the role, like what you said.
Just giving a few reasons
yeah.
for it. But I do feel like people are a little bit more understanding post-COVID. We should have been like this the
definitely.
whole time.
Yeah.
But since then, I've definitely seen a bit more of a understanding nature from hiring managers. I think COVID also made individuals like us realise, actually, no, this is what I want in a job. If I don't get it, why would I stay there longer than my probation period was 6 months if things don't progress or whatever?
So definitely a shift in views from hiring managers, recruiters, HR in general, I think has helped that. Obviously within reason though, let's not promote job hopping.
Yeah.
Only move if you have to and really make sure you don't accept positions and think, oh, I've accepted a role but I can move.
Unless you're unhappy, I guess, at the
Yeah.
job,
Yeah, I would also say that comes down to us as recruiters as well, finding out, having that communication with you guys as candidates and finding out as much as possible. Tell us what you dislike, what you like, everything about a job.
Potential concerns.
Yeah, so we can match you up. And even if we get you a job, you're there for your first month and you're like, I thought this was going to be like this and it's not. Ring us up and be like, right, this isn't what I planned. We can help you. You need to talk. You need to feel comfortable to talk to managers to try and iron out issues before it becomes that snowball effect. And you're like,
if you don't have a
my
conversation, if you don't have a conversation with your team or your manager where you're working to try and resolve things if they can be resolved, then you'll never know, and you could be wasting your time with a job search.
Yeah, and I think at the end, we've got to remember as well is you guys want to make sure that you're giving people jobs that they want to be in for a long time.
We don't want you to job hop.
Exactly.
No, we actually do care.
Exactly.
We do. We promise.
Yeah.
Right. Okay,
Right.
well, I suppose that sort of carries on to this one. So I think a lot of people assume recruiters are only interested in high-paying jobs. What do you guys think about that?
I actually couldn't care less.
Yeah.
Genuinely, if a new role comes in, I get like a new role buzz where I'm like, oh yes, like something new, like let's search it, let's do adverts, let's speak to people. I get really excited about it. I don't care how much a job pays, I just care that I can, I don't know.
But also, I do find sometimes, even if it's a lower paying job, the process can be a little bit quicker. The more senior candidates, where they've been where they're not sort of fresh into it, they know exactly what they want and they can be a bit more picky with it as such. It can be harder to get those deals over the line, so you put a lot more work into it. So when you get this fresh new role in, say for like a junior functional consultant, you know they're like eager people willing like to do their job. One, it makes you excited and happy for that person because you're like, right, you were getting their career sort of going. Whether it's a lower fee or not, like not less work as such, but it feels a little bit easier because, you know, they're going into it with a fresh mind.
Yeah.
I would say.
And people sometimes, this is really, you know, take this with a pinch of salt, but sometimes like junior candidates are a little bit more excited about like recruitment process and interviewing and exploring new jobs just because I guess it's fresh. Like if you've never been to the gym and like the first time you go to the gym, you're like, oh, like you get a bit excited about trying all the machines. So I guess that's the same as anything, or maybe that's just me.
Or you're like, I'm never coming back here again.
I think we've answered the question. We kind of got carried away.
Yeah, but
that's good.
I would say as well though, counter offers come into a big play of that as well.
You've just gone on to my next question.
Oh,
so my next one was salary negotiation is only appropriate for managerial level positions.
Oh, absolutely not. No way.
I
False.
would not agree with that. Because at the end of the day, well, the majority of people are coming from a job already, so they already would have been on a base salary and package, and like those negotiations, you're gonna have to. So say once again, I'm going with this whole junior consultant type thing. They might be advertising. I can't talk to you.
I feel like that today as well.
They might be advertising for up to 45k, let's say, or up to 50k. But if you've had a junior consultant who's coming from a role before who is already on a 50k base, obviously there's going to be that slight negotiation. Everyone wants a little bit of an uplift.
It depends.
To make the move.
I think a negotiation works if you're a really good fit for the role and on both sides.
And
so
that's at any level.
culture experience, travel. If it's right for everybody, then you can negotiate. But what I wouldn't suggest is applying for roles. You know, I had a call with someone yesterday who applied for a role at 40k.
Yeah.
They're on a 50k base, and I said to them, you've got quite a lot of experience. I don't normally ask so soon into the call. Obviously, we'd had a bit of a discussion.
Yeah.
What are your salary expectations? 50. I was hoping there would be a negotiation. And I said, look, I would love to negotiate for you, but that is a little bit
10k is a bit, hard.
Yeah, and it wasn't
extra.
a sort of senior role that 10k would be maybe a bit not so much in the grand scheme of things. But so there's a balance, I think, between expecting and trying.
I think there's just so many factors that filter
Yeah.
into it. I could name loads, but even so, like say the current organisation that you're interviewing for, they're not your negotiation would work if other consultants or developers or whatever it may be, their salaries on par. Like they're not going to take
like
someone
on
like who goes, oh well, I want 10k more, so I want 60k for a junior functional consultant. Unheard of. But all of their other junior consultants are on 50k because that's going to ruffle so many feathers. So there's loads of different factors that come into salary negotiations, and it works when it works and all the factors align and everything makes sense.
Yeah.
But there are some things that you're like, actually, No, like
I
that
guess
can't be negotiated.
If you don't ask, you don't get.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Very true.
Okay, right, next question. What should we go with? Recruiters don't provide feedback to unsuccessful candidates.
Wrong.
Yeah, incorrect. Sorry, I'm just listening to you.
So daft. Wrong. We want to give as much feedback as possible. However, recruitment, we are the little piggy in the middle, and we are the middleman, and sometimes it can be quite hard. We do get a lot of blame for feedback not coming through.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking in my head. It's not so easy to answer this one.
Yeah, it's really hard. You know, some feedback we get really detailed.
Yeah.
Other feedback we get
is literally like a one word
like,
no.
We will not be progressing, and it's like, okay, why?
And it's difficult for us to sort of for candidates that I've sent to multiple places. It's like an ongoing conversation and process.
Yeah.
And a lot of the time, things are delayed because we try and get more detail from clients who have come back with the no. But if I'm honest with you, some clients are just very, very busy, and it's not an excuse, it's a genuine reason. If they're on site for projects, they can't always give feedback, and they miss applications, and you know, it's not ideal, but it's just the way the world works. And if I'm honest, that is the way it works sometimes, and we try our very, very best.
But also with recruiters, we're not perfect. Like, I am like Dory, I do forget things.
Yeah.
Like, I do have a memory like a sieve.
Yeah.
And sometimes if I don't write something down, like, I need to ring this person to give feedback at this stage, and I don't do that for whatever reason it may be, like, we can make, everyone makes mistakes, obviously.
Or maybe it'll just be like a couple of days delayed, but we will get there. We will get there.
Definitely. But obviously, we want to give you as much feedback as possible, and rejection especially at any stage, whether it's your CV getting rejected after first interview, rejected after final interview, we want to give you that.
100%.
And we hope to give you that.
And I would say giving feedback after an interview is a priority.
Yeah.
You know, we try not to delay that, just because obviously you've given up more of your time and it's more of a personal thing.
Yeah.
It is a really hard one to answer because you can't just set. It's not simple.
Yeah.
Done well.
Although, sorry to interject, I would say working with a recruiter is good for feedback because you're more likely to get more feedback.
And you won't get ghosted.
Yep. I applied for loads of jobs before Conspicuous. I just got an email saying no. If I'd gone through a recruiter, I would have got a why. Most of the time.
Most of the time, not always.
Okay, right, so this question, I guess, applies more to obviously what we specialise in, D365 Power Platform, etc. I think a lot of people assume that recruitment agencies don't understand the specific requirements of these specialities that we, you know. What do you think?
We're not going to know everything.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, technical architects, you're a crazy level of knowledge.
Yeah.
Like, I love having those conversations though, because you learn so much.
Yeah.
Like,
some goes in, some can't get in.
Yeah, I remember when we first started actually at Conspicuous. I say we, I think this happened for you as well. I started after Tyler, but our director Rob literally sat us down, explained dynamics, and when I tell you, it was literally a foreign language. And I remember going home. I think I was still living at home? No, I wasn't, but I think I went round my parents for dinner. I literally was like, I have no idea what was taught. And our boss is so hot on repeat.
Yeah.
And until you've gone over something 3 times, it's not going to sink in. Like, it's not going to be there. So you'd go in on day 1, he would teach you something, and you'd be like, what the hell? You'd go back, you'd come in the next day, he would test you. And like, the nice thing about our company, they invest the time to put us to workshops, conferences. We're attending a Power Platform one in October.
It's in Farnborough.
No, October. Oh no, that's in September. Yeah, we're going to one
Somewhere.
in September. And then we're going to a Power Platform specific one in London in October, because Power Platform, as you know, is very up and coming, but because it's up and coming, there's new things coming into it. We don't know that yet. Like,
and we do work with a lot of Power Platform partners, so it's
and I think it's good to remember we use it within Conspicuous.
So we use Business Central. We use Business Central here, and we use
Power
obviously
BI, CE, and BC.
Yeah.
So we
CRM,
use it quite a lot. Obviously, all of our CRM data we input onto
Yeah,
our
we do that
system.
ourselves.
And then our finance lady, she uses Business Central. So, you know, we are users of it, but we have to know it, because obviously we're having to pre-screen. Technically, it's like a first interview.
And it's something you learn more and more over time, and ask people. Like,
I ask
Lucy
my
does this,
candidates.
but we all do it. We ask candidates if we don't know what something is. Can you just explain that to me, please? And a lot of the time people don't mind doing that, but
Yeah.
you know, in the last year, so I've been here almost 2 years now, 2 years next month.
Oh my god.
When I was working developer roles specific to Microsoft Dynamics Business Central, that is sort of a technology AL development. I never really knew what that was until about a year ago, and then I was like, ding ding, light bulb moment. Now I understand the whole. And it's just something that just comes with time and listening. That is what I can say.
We don't know everything, but we try.
Yeah,
That's
we're
the
pretty
main-
good.
That's all that matters.
We try, you know?
Okay, right, so another one. Recruitment ends once a candidate is hired.
Oh god, no.
Absolutely not. You've got onboarding, you've got check-ins, you've got feedback on the recruitment process from both candidates, but also given to clients.
Yeah.
Um,
I still WhatsApp mine, who started in like January, February time.
I
like,
think that's why it's important to have that relationship, because you want to check on how they're doing, stay in contact with them. If,
even after their probation, like at the end of the day, from a business perspective, you want your candidates, when that time comes, whether it be 2 years down the line, 5 years down the line, you want them to come back
to you, exactly,
like,
or at least recommend you, because word
of mouth is a huge thing. And if you're not giving the full service, like I literally dropped my lady a WhatsApp yesterday. Hey, just checking in. How are things? Like, how's business going?
Yeah.
Like, you know, as our director always says, you want them to be like mates that you can sit down in a pub with and have a chat.
And we like that.
That's how we work.
We like creating those, especially me and Lucy, forming those sorts of relationships, a bit more informal. Have a laugh. It's not a serious thing. Obviously, some people not interested in that, but others are. But it's definitely like Nico, for example, who we had on the other week. He has people come back to him with recruitment needs or job related needs, either side, who are either at different companies or whatever, and they keep coming back to him, and he's helped them over years and years.
You might have got them a job and they've then progressed to a hiring manager, and then they think, well, they got me the job, I'm going to go back to that company because they got me an amazing job and here I am.
So basically recruitment never stops. It never ever stops. But it's worth it, because you do build good relationships.
It's not a transaction, it's a process, and we provide a consultative approach.
Okay, right, here's another one which I thought was interesting, because me personally, when I've been applying to jobs previous to this job, every single job asks for a cover letter. Every single one.
I actually have a good no. You're saying no?
I'm saying no.
Are they necessary?
So, no. I would say no. I would say no. Oh no, I'm thinking of something different.
You're thinking of something different.
I'm thinking of...
You're thinking of our front sheets?
No, I'm not. What am I thinking? So, I don't think cover sheets are necessary from a candidate's perspective if you're going through a recruiter.
Yeah.
Because if you're going through a recruiter, we technically do that for you. We do something what we call a front sheet here, which summarises your profile.
And you should already have a summary on your CV saying why you want to apply for that specific role.
Yeah, you need to tailor your CV to each. Yeah.
If your CV is tailored, you're already kind of addressing... I used to write front sheets, and I just used to think I used to waffle on it.
Yeah,
I'm not really sure what else I'm putting on there that isn't on the CV.
Yeah.
That is true. What I was thinking of, because I was going to say, I think it's different for contractors, but that's a project overview.
Yeah.
So with contractors, on a CV, if you have all your projects on there, like and it's like 8-9 pages long, don't do it. Keep it short, sweet, skills and everything basic on there, but I thought it was a cover letter, but it's not. It's a project overview letter.
I like
with
that.
All your projects.
Yeah, I think it's a really good point Lucy's making, because you could have a document instead of a front sheet for project managers, consultants, or anyone.
Yeah.
Like designers, developers, the work that you've done. You could have like a timeline.
Yeah.
That's a really good point.
That's what came to my mind, but it's not a cover letter. So.
I like that.
I think that's interesting though, because like you said, when you're applying to companies directly, they will all require one. Every single job board that you go on, you have to attach a cover
I'd
letter.
rather give evidence of my work and my abilities rather than waffling.
Yeah, I do find it hard to talk about.
Yeah, well, that's
Like,
interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so another one which sort of applies to CVs. Do you think that you would prioritise candidates with the most experience?
No.
Prioritise candidates. In what do you mean? In sending them out to jobs?
As in, yes, so if you found an opportunity that you think would suit them, and you had a bunch of candidates in front of you, and one of them had way more experience than the others, would you put them through first?
Depends. It depends on the client's hiring ways. That doesn't make sense. If you have a client that wants as many CVs in volume, I would not prioritise. If you had a client that doesn't want volume but wants
Quality over
quantity, I would, whoever fits the job spec the most, would prioritise sending that person out, getting feedback on them, and then filtering down.
So I guess
it really depends.
Depends on the urgency of the role that candidate is for. But I guess it goes back to the question earlier. I can't remember what the question was when I was saying about something to do with junior candidates.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say. I think obviously if it was a more junior position, you would understand why they would have less experience compared to someone that's more managerial.
Depends what role they're going for.
Exactly.
I think if you're talking in the sense of you've got a D365 FO developer, and you've got 2 developers for FO applying, and you had a client that's a little bit more picky and wants the quantity, I would put the one with more experience. To be fair, also it's not just the experience; it's how you come across on the phone as well, like that communication,
and the way your
personable
CV is
skills.
written.
Yeah,
Have you
I
made
think
your
there's so many factors to
There
it other than
are.
experience. But
If you're applying to any ERP role, if it's SAP, Sage, Dynamics, Oracle, NetSuite, if you have only got Oracle written on your CV once or Dynamics on your CV once, we will look at that CV and be like, you're applying to a Dynamics role, but I can't see your Dynamics. You've only mentioned it once.
keywords in your C word in your CVs.
That's what you're on to my next one.
I'm really good at this
You are,
game.
you're good at
I should
this.
play more often.
So would you agree that using a lot of keywords on a CV will guarantee it gets past applicant tracking systems a lot quicker?
Yeah. I mean, personally, I have never been the person on the other end of an applicant tracking system, other than just receiving a CV and skimming through it myself.
I mean, we just look at them, don't we?
We submit people to applicant tracking systems, obviously depending if that is how the client works and if they've got one in place.
Yeah.
But I do know those ATSs, they do, was that the right abbreviation?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was, yeah. Was that, they do have like that system in place where it will scan for those keywords. So if you don't have D365 finance and operations or FO and you don't specialise which one it is,
or modules,
or like just main experience or keywords that they're looking for, this is why always tailor your CV. I'm telling you,
because you also don't want to waste yours or theirs time by
No.
contacting them and them going, oh well actually I don't have experience with that, and you're like, oh well you've not specified that and it's too general, like you need it to be a bit more specific.
But yeah, you need to have it clear and concise on the CV to get past the ATSs.
And when we say tailor CV, we're not meaning write 4 paragraphs or a front sheet or anything, just purely make it really clear what your experience is and tailor it to a dummy. So someone who has never worked with the system before and doesn't understand it, because we need to know, I don't know what modules you have experience in, maybe you're finance specific or manufacturing, but I need to know which modules you have experience with.
Because you've got to remember, hiring managers skim through your
And
CV.
they're busy.
They do not take minutes to go through them.
I think
it's
that's
more
why.
seconds.
Yeah, I think that's why it's more important. That's why it's also important to make sure that it's not really, really, really long.
Yeah.
Try and make it, short and sweet, but still get everything in there. That
And people say, does it have to be 2 pages? I personally think it can be 3. I think 3's fine for more experienced people. Yeah, just no more.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, well, last question. we'll stick with this one.
Suspense.
Job interviews, are they only for you guys to assess candidates, or is it for more?
I don't understand the question.
Yeah.
So like, do you only do it to assess sort of?
Like screening calls.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
I guess it's to do our job for the client. Like, we invest in the clients and building a relationship with them, and they have a certain level. One of Lucy's clients, for example, have asked us to ask screening questions, specific questions, because we always screen for roles.
Yeah.
But we just do it to maintain our reputation and to not waste clients' time and not waste yours. That's kind of why it's there.
And we try and help speed up the process, because at the end of the day, if we don't do our job and hiring managers are having to just repeat what we do, there's no point us being
No value
there. Like,
add.
there is
Yeah.
no value, and like it is a bit like an initial interview.
Yeah.
Like a very informal one.
Yeah.
But like,
Yeah, I think that's the difference then, isn't it? Between
Yeah.
assessing them and having that informal conversation. It sort of
it's a bit of
depends.
preparation, you know?
Yeah.
A bit of preparation going into it. But like, you know, it is, I think it's better when clients give us like specific questions about skills and stuff, because, you know, like my client, as you said, they actually said it speeds the
Process
I
up.
can't talk today. It speeds the process up. So obviously, like, I think it is important, but yeah, we are here for that. Like, we are. It's not an interview. I wouldn't class it.
No,
as
it's
that,
really
but-
just informal chat, and you can guarantee that any informal conversations you have with a recruiter will be exactly the same as what you'd have for a first stage
Yeah.
informal HR call with a client.
No one's there to catch you out. I think this is a big thing to remember through recruitment chats and interviews. We're not there to catch you out. The hiring
No.
managers are not there to catch you out. We want you to get a job. Yep, you might not be the right fit, but if you can't answer a question, that's fine. If you don't have a skill, that's fine. But when we're trying to match you, see if it's something that they can teach you, or if we know that they don't, you know, they need someone to hit the ground
Yeah.
running, we know it's not a right fit for you, and, you know, we wouldn't want you to be
Wasting your
Well,
time.
yeah,
and-
yeah. So
Yeah.
we're not. No one's there to catch you out. It should be an enjoyable and learning process for you as individuals. So
Yeah.
hopefully that helps a
And
little bit.
any job interviews you have, or applications, any feedback, any conversations with recruiters, you can understand the market, you can get feedback on your profile, what experience you might need to get a new role, and just the pathways that are out there for you. So
Yeah.
it's all positive and constructive. Don't ever take it as too personal or negative.
But as recruiters, we're here to help and
Yeah, we are.
build some relationships. And then,
We're
hey,
not scary.
If you ever want to go down the pub for a pint, that's where we're at.
Ask
You know,
Lucy.
but that's what we're here for. You know, we're here to help you guys. We're here to have those conversations, and hopefully, if you need any tips or advice or anything, that's what we also do.
Yeah. Any other questions or anything, comment them down below.